Dogs. I want to talk about dogs in this video. And if you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of dogs. I have two myself, which you probably have heard in the background barking at random squirrels and other dogs passing by the window. Give it a little peek. Oh, nice. Good job, Sam. Get a video of you licking yourself. And Dee Dee is right there. So I've always been around dogs my entire life. Always had a close relationship with them. My mother, grandmother, and aunts all had dogs, and I've always been fascinated by the connection, how much we love them, and how they really are not just a pet, but we feel that they're either our best friend or a family member. And I looked into the research, and I looked into the history. I was really interested to know, like, how did this all come about? Why do we have this weird relationship with another species? We live with them, we take care of them, sometimes they take care of us. And I don't know about anybody else out there, but I definitely inconvenience myself for their dog, for both Sam and Dee Dee. They both sleep in the bed with me. They will take up basically 75% of the bed and leave me with kind of like a little sliver, and I'm okay with it. I'm like, all right, this is how I gotta live. I'll be like scooched over to the edge, and like Dee Dee maybe up over here, over by my head, and Sam's gonna lay his big ass heavy head on my legs where I basically can't move and feel like I'm paralyzed. And that's our life. I'm happy to do it. But if you don't know the history of dogs, it's really interesting. It's not fully understood. The current theory says that our history dates back anywhere between 15,000 to maybe 40,000 years ago, where dogs' original ancestor, gray wolves, wild gray wolves, would follow human tribes and kind of take their, like, scavenge their food that they would leave after their encampment moved. And eventually, over time, probably thousands of years, dogs got closer, and humans and gray wolves were, they're both predators. They were never meant to be coexisting. But I guess over the thousands of years of enough gray wolves having interactions with humans through selective breeding and just natural selection, wolves started to become domesticated and trust humans more. And humans would start to feed them, and the dogs, the pups of those wolves that were being fed by the humans would be the ones that survived and bred, and then they would pass down basically the genetic traits of being more friendly and trusting of humans, and they started to become part of the tribe. And again, this is maybe as far as 40,000 years ago. This is a long time in human evolution. And dogs became kind of watchers for the tribes, which I think, my theory is, this is why they still have it within them to stare out the window and bark at the mailman or the Amazon driver or just anybody that walks by, because I think they still have that innate sense that they have to protect our home. And so that's a long history. And I've always wondered, maybe they just looked, back then, humans would look at the wolves and the domesticated wolves as like something, as a tool they would use to protect. And I wonder, well, how far back in human history was it where we were that close to dogs? We would welcome them in our home and like really show a lot of affection and love towards them. And recently I found out that in ancient Rome, dating back 2,000 to 4,000 years ago, there's actually been found a lot of epitaphs where Romans would actually bury their dogs and then have a epitaph at the gravesite talking about the dog's life and how close they were with the family. And I thought that was pretty cool. So like, even thousands of years ago, humans had this loving companionship with dogs, and it wasn't just like a random stray dog on the street. They actually welcomed them in their home just like we do. And there's a lot of interesting research too that has scanned dogs' brains and found that the parts of their brains that are the reward centers light up whenever they see their human. They don't light up when they see random humans, so there is a connection there. And also, I just recently found out that when humans and their dogs like gaze into each other's eyes, they both actually release oxytocin, which is it's a bonding hormone, and it's the same hormone that's released in mothers just after they give birth to be bonded with their babies. And it's kind of interesting that dogs and humans both release that same bonding hormone when we're staring at each other's eyes. And that's got to be unique in the animal kingdom. And it's definitely unique that two predators, dogs and humans, work together. Nowhere else in the animal kingdom do you see two predators actually work side by side like we do. So that's it. I just kind of wanted to drop some knowledge on dogs if you didn't already know. And if you're a dog lover, let me know. You know, if you got any funny stories about your dogs, or if you inconvenience yourself in the same way that I do to make sure they're comfortable, even if I'm uncomfortable, you know, leave a comment. Yeah, that's them barking, protecting the house. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Say goodbye to Sam and Dee Dee. Yo, you want to say bye? All right. Take care, y'all.